This is question 3 from the second CSAT sample paper. Here we're given a complicated looking expression with these sort of stacked fractions involving a, b, c and d, which we're told are positive integers, and this expression is equal to 15/11ths, and we're asked to find a, b, c and d. So if you want to have a go at this question yourself, pause the video now. Okay, so what's the quickest way of doing this? Well, I think it's best to work from the outside in. So here we've got a positive integer, plus this expression here, and because everything's a positive integer, this is positive, and it's 1 over a positive integer plus something, so this is going to be less than 1. If we look at this right-hand side, this is 1 plus 4/11ths, so it's between 1 and 2. And that means a has to be at least, since a has to be at least 1, because it's a positive integer, we can only have a equals 1. If we had a equals 2, the left-hand side would already be bigger than 2, and so bigger than this. So that means we can immediately conclude that a is 1. And that means now we can take 1 away from both sides, and we just have to look at b, c and d. So let's write down what we get next. If we just take 1 from both sides, we've now got this fraction left over, and we've got 4/11ths on this side. And now to simplify, the obvious thing to do is to turn both sides upside down, because then we get rid of the 1 over on top. So we're simplifying the left-hand side a lot. So now we have b plus 1 over c plus 1 over d, so that's this part, equals 11/4. I just turn both sides upside down. And now we can just do a similar thing to what we did for a. This here is 1 over a positive integer plus something, so this is less than 1. So what has to happen is this has to be the integer part of this side, and this has to be the fraction part. If we look at this side, this is 2 3/4. So that means we need b is 2 and this part to be 3/4. So we get b is 2. I'm just underlining the parts of this that are answers for our 4 things. And this part has to be 3/4. And now we can do the same thing again. We want to make it less of a fraction, so we'll turn both sides upside down. So if we do that, we get c plus 1 over d on this side and 4/3 on this side, and again we can do exactly the same as before. This has to be the fractional part, this is less than 1, so this has to be the integer part. This side here is 1 plus 1/3, so therefore this has to be 1, this has to be 1/3, so we get c equals 1 and d equals 3. So our answers then, just to recap, were a equals 1, b equals 2, c equals 1 and d equals 3.